It's me.
Yeah, we're not live.
Oh, we are live now. Look, there we go. Look, we've been live. You know what? There are too many buttons on this. There are too many buttons. There are too many.
That was so annoying as well, because that was the best intro we've ever done.
Listen,
we're not live.
Yeah, we are now.
That intro was so good. No one's ever gonna know it. Welcome to Real United Talk. Apologies for the tardiness. Blame the person responsible for the tech. That was me. But we're here now. We're getting into it. We're going to talk about Manchester United. I can do this all again. Ross is in the house, aka Hazard. The right honourable Samad Marcus is in the house. We're talking Manchester United. Apologies. What can I say? But you know, we wanted you to wait and just be eager for the conversation that's coming.
That's it.
That's it.
Not as good as the first intro, but it'll do.
I know. I had to wing it.
Yeah, that poem you read out as well. Oh.
That poem was brilliant. Pankaj is in the house. Jessica is in the house. All the way from the far side of planet Earth, Canada. Mark's in the house. Mad Marcus is in the house. It's good. I like him. He's multitasking. Max.
I'm always around.
Max is straight in with the comment. I'm gonna just go straight to the comments straight away. Would you take Moyes for another year if it meant we got Cruz? Do you know what? Both of those two together, it's like a nightmare scenario. I don't know about you. Moyes and Cruz. Cruz is too old now, and Moyes.
Mate, I mean, fucking David Moyes, yeah. Like, so one thing I would say is, I know I'm sort of going off spiel here, but I would have definitely have given Van Gaal another year.
Definitely.
However, David Moyes was a disaster waiting to happen. And look what the fuck he's done since he's left Man United. He's just fucked everywhere he's gone. And that goes to show you that he wasn't a manager that was ever going to turn it around.
That's why he's at West Ham.
Exactly. And they booted him out when he got him out of relegation because they just hated him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've all seen his famous clips in Spain pretending to speak Spanish going, here, la Mendy. I mean, the guy's, probably one of the worst managers I've ever seen manage Man United, I swear down.
He is. One of the comments that we had on the Twitter thread was from Owen. So this is for Owen. He says, on your next show, can you please debate how on earth this season isn't voided? How can some games be played at neutral grounds? All good. Also, more subs allowed? ? This is insane. How is this league fair in the slightest? I didn't do that last sentence enough. I would only have banged my desk, but I have my drink here and I didn't want to spill it. So I didn't want to spill it at all.
Marcus, you take this one because you've got like well good opinions on this.
No, yeah, I know, but I want to hear what you two have to say about it.
What, on the season being voided?
Yeah. I ranted about it last week, didn't I?
I always thought that the season would come back in this form. I always believed that when it came down to the clubs in the Premier League looking at how much money they were going to lose, they were always going to say, we can take not having fans, but we can't afford to lose broadcaster money. It's just too much. They give us they give us too much money for us to walk away from that. So they look at the less of two evils and say, yeah, we can play behind closed doors, but to give back that amount of money, it was always going to be this way. Always. The planet could be heading towards the sun. They still wouldn't have avoided the season.
What is this playing on neutral ground? What games are going to be on neutral ground?
I think it's the Merseyside derby.
Right, to get it away from Liverpool to stop the fans congregating.
Yeah.
That's bullshit, to be honest. There's two things. I kind of said it earlier. The 5 substitution thing is bullshit. I know why they've done it because worried about people getting injured, no pre-season and that. But I said it earlier, like what's going to happen? Yeah, like a team like Brighton or whatever who basically haven't got 5 subs anyway because their squad's so thin. What's going to happen when a team puts on a 5th sub that sub scores and they go down. They never signed up for that at the start of the season. That's not in the Premier League rulebook, really. They've just changed it just to fit their criteria for a season. So I'm happy that the season's coming back regardless. I want to watch fucking football. Do I think it should have come back though? Probably not. At all.
Not at all. Marcus,
well, I don't think it should have come back, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, I said it last week. I know people are bored at home and stuff, but I totally agree with the comments of Danny Rose and Troy Deeney. You know, I mean, I think in the fourth or fifth round of tests, one of the Spurs players have got it this week, and then the latest test shows that.
What Spurs player? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. They didn't mention it, I don't think, but there was a guy from Spurs that's got it. And, you know, I mean, of course we want something to watch on the telly. Of course we do. You know, we're all fucking bored at home. But
Netflix isn't doing it anymore.
Yeah, but at what cost?
Or Pornhub.
Is it to relieve our boredom, the nation's boredom, well, the world's boredom, because it's all over the world, isn't it, Premier League? You know, what cost is it going to come to do that? And again, I'll repeat it again, it's against the health crisis rules. You know, how do you keep 2 meters apart? You can't. It's impossible. You know,
it's fucking stupid at the end of the game when they're like, they stand 2 meters apart to applaud when they're fucking all hugging each other at corners.
Precisely,
what's the point in that? Like, I'd rather them just say, look, you're breaking social distancing. You might as well break it properly.
Yeah. If you're going to do it properly. Go all in.
Shank on the field.
But it's like, you know, free kicks, you know, 4 or 5 man walls. How's that going to work? You have 2 meters in between.
Do you know what? Honestly, it's like
fucking ridiculous.
They go into the wall and go, "Have you been tested? You've been tested? Oh, that's okay then. Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah.
The mutual conversation that happens, like, "Have you been tested? Yeah, all right then." Yeah, you know.
Are they going to be playing with the face masks? You know, because every other sport has got the face mask.
No way.
No,
so what exactly? But what makes it so different? I mean, obviously, there's more money generated from it for, you know, the government, the economy, blah blah blah. But it's still health. You know, it's still people's lives.
It is.
I just think it's wrong. I do think it's wrong. And okay, it's coming back. I'm glad it's coming back, but I don't think it's coming back at the right time. I really don't.
Do you know what? The second question he's got, right? The point is, how can some games be played at neutral grounds? And I always thought that was going to be the case for almost every game, let alone the Merseyside derby.
You know, I thought it was every game, to be honest.
Yeah. You know,
I really did.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because again, you got home advantage, which is huge. And that's not to do with the crowd. That's to do with because we all know that every team has a different size pitch to, you know, they adapt to the size of their pitch. Very different things as well. Like Man United on corners at Old Trafford, we've got the sloped rolled down part, which we're used to. Other teams, you know, may not like that. They may want bigger run-ups, and so we get an advantage. There's so many really, when you're playing football at the highest level, you take any minor advantage you can get to get that win. And if you take that away from someone, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. When I looked at some of the fixtures, and I just thought, you have to kind of work out, why would you not want to play every game at neutral grounds? It makes no sense. If Man United fans know that Man United are winning a game, you think they're not going to walk down the road? You know, if they're close by, just pop out, tell the missus, I've just got to the co-op, I won't be long.
I mean, when Liverpool win the league, you know, because we all assume that they're not going to lose every game now when the season restarts.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Jurgen Klopp say about this bus parade, right?
Yeah.
If that goes ahead, seriously, if that goes ahead, I hope that all those Scousers that come out for that bus parade, right, are all handed the maximum fine, because they are blatantly ignoring the distance.
Yeah, do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. The way things are going, every weekend there's a major announcement. It might change by then.
Yeah,
It
we
honestly
shall
might
see.
change by then because everything seems to be opening up on the 15th. You've got restrictions in terms of quarantine coming in for flights from tomorrow. From the 15th, you've got to wear face masks in certain places. I'm like thinking, why the 15th? Why not now?
Hmm.
You know, the 15th, what, the weekend before the Premier League returns. Oh, I
Mm.
see. So in case people start to travel, you're going to ask them to make sure that they. And I just think to myself, the whole thing in itself, from a political point of view, been handled poorly. But from a footballing point of view, the, the return was never going to be the way they wanted it because they really want fans in the ground. Fans want to be in the ground. But they should have looked at this from the beginning and thought, what do we need to do? And if you're going to ask teams to play at neutral grounds, and some teams, that in itself is unfair. You know, it's either everyone's doing it or no one should be doing it.
Ben said, Ben says, don't get why players are celebrating by elbow tapping, but yet basically sniffing each other armpits on corners. Holy. Dedrick says, look at Stoke. It's naturally windy like a turbine. Yeah, sick. Oh, mate, I've got to say one thing though, right? About like this whole lockdown, footballers, whatever, breaking the rules,
Yeah,
you know, the odd one. And then you got Marcus Rashford.
top man.
Yeah.
What a guy!
Top
Like,
man.
and the thing that I take from what Rashford has done during this whole lockdown period is I really get the sense that he's not doing it for his own personal clout. I genuinely think that guy cares,
Yeah,
and I think it's amazing because there's certain footballers that do donate a hell of a lot to charities, and they do a lot for charities. But I just can't help but feel like that's to just give themselves a bigger platform and profile. But Marcus is not doing that. And wow, future Man United captain, I see it there. Honestly,
Ooh,
just yeah,
really?
100%, mate. When he's older, like
Yeah,
28,
okay,
whatever.
yeah. I mean, I kind of applaud what he's doing in terms of the free school meals. And I watched a video where he talked about, you know, he said, I was a child, you know, I had to stay at school till 6. My mum didn't get home till 8. You know, my meal wasn't going to be until, do you know what I mean? And I'm like thinking, this is
Yeah,
a guy that has the experience of knowing full, like that school meal was so important
yeah,
Yeah.
in the day, so important. And I've worked in schools where I've had kids that come into my class and they're not concentrating, and you kind of look at them and think, "What's wrong?" And you just ask the question, "Have you had breakfast?" And they say no, and you just think, "Shit, how the fuck are you meant to learn if you can't concentrate?" So you then
Yeah.
have to go to the kitchen and do all of the things like you can get whatever cereal, ask the cook to kind of put toast in, and they're already busy trying to sort out lunch from like 9:30. But for him to kind of step up and deliver on that scale, one, it says a lot about him, but it also says he's not doing it for PR. He's not doing it for PR. It's very much, I think, in for him. I have lived that life as a child, and I'm in a better place, so I can, you know, that many meals probably is nothing in comparison to what he's earning. But everyone else, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Huge deal.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually.
People like footballers, like Ross said, they do their bit for charity,
Mm.
most probably because they want to build up their profile and stuff. You know, they're coming to the end of their careers, they want to be known for something other than just football. But I mean, for a young lad like Rashford to do that,
Yeah.
you know, such a young age as well, it must have you know, what's going on must have really hit home with him
Mm.
some
Yeah.
way, shape, or
Yeah.
form for
Yeah.
him to do
Yeah.
that off his own back. And yeah, more people, more youngsters should follow suit. I
Yeah.
think young footballers that like that. You
Do you know what? Because you know my background is within education. I talk to so many different people, and one of the schools that I worked at, right, at the beginning of this pandemic, because they weren't letting anyone on site, they sent home bags of pasta and tins of tuna and something else to the families and said, your child was meant to get a free school meal. This is the equivalent of this.
know.
The school won't be open. And I just felt, from the school's point of view, they let those families down. But it just goes to show, you know, how much the smallest gesture that Rashford has done can go so far. And you have what I call the state schools that are meant to provide, the government that's meant to provide, that basically said, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You know, can't do anything for you, jog. And that in itself is bad. But you know, for me, he's such an adult already for someone so young. His years are beyond his age.
Yeah.
Really
As well, when you watch him in interviews, it's one of the things that really pisses me off about footballers. Why I really like Troy Deeney, actually, is because they're so well media trained. It's like talking to a book.
Yeah.
But he's not like
I'm
that.
reading.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. Though they've got the generic bullshit answers, and it's just bland. Like footballers in interviews, and I do like a footballer that's a bit edgy. Rashford's not that, but he's not media trained. You can see it. He fumbles about in interviews, which I just like seeing. I want to see something real.
Natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he did the Zoom meeting and he went, "How do I?" He started talking,
Yeah.
and the mic. I was thinking, "That's me. That's me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
me. Where's the volume? What? How'd you turn it off like that?" Do you know what? I'm really jealous because my background, right, is part of the header, and I've seen comments like, "Yeah, Ross's place is nice. He's got rock star background, and then, like
penthouse.
Marcus has got the big picture on the wall. You know what I mean? The brickwork, and there's me just with that like cheap green screen graphic behind. Like this guy's got no taste, no skills. His house is bland. I'm gonna have to find a 3D picture that makes me look like I'm on, but I've got Malibu Point. I need Tony Stark's view.
Yeah, that's it.
Tony Stark. God. Oh,
Great.
Transfers. Shall we do transfer rumours? We need we
Yeah.
need a prop. We haven't got the sauce.
Mm.
I haven't got anything.
We
for
haven't
sauce.
got the sauce.
We haven't got the sauce.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
All in due time.
In due time. The transfer rumours. This is it, like transfer rumours. Manchester United are going to buy everybody. They're gonna be fire.
These
Transfer rumour done.
rumors during lockdown actually really pissed me off.
Oh,
Not gonna lie. Like for every club, it's just like it's it's not happening. What are them glasses?
My 3D glasses.
like that. What's going on? Fire! It's my agent. I'm the agent. What was that guy that used to do? Monster. Buy. Yeah, monster deal.
Yeah, I mean, the latest one I'm seeing on Twitter is Van der Beek.
Van der Beek, yeah.
And everyone that I see just puts two and two together in their own fucking head and goes, Ajax, Van der Sar, Man United. Oh, it's definitely happening. And then the next thing you see is some fucking bellend goes, yeah, I've just been told that Van der Sar is in conversations with his mate Ollie, and I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's happening. All right. Yeah. Speak to you later. It's definitely happening.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
That Woodward telling you, Rodney, was it?
Was that? Yeah.
Woodward. Yeah.
I've got a call from downstairs.
It's one of my biggest bugbears on Twitter is that like United, it's this thing like we sign a player and everyone's like, fucking hell, that went on forever. United can't negotiate a transfer, save their fucking life. I'm like, mate, that transfer probably only took a week. It's you prick spending 2 months talking about it on Twitter that make it seem like, oh, we didn't get him again. We're never in for him.
Yeah.
I don't think there is fumbling in their transfers. I think they don't go in for a lot of players, and that is fucking frustrating. I don't think nowadays we're as fumbling in our transfers as we may think. But for this season, who do you think we're going to get, Rodney Marcus? Because I've got a feeling I know who we're going to get, and it's not who we want.
I'm going to let Marcus go for this one. Go, Marcus. Right, go.
Well, on the Van der Beek thing, I think that depends on one person, and that's Pogba.
Interesting. I like it.
Okay. I think if he signs a new deal, if Woodward gets him to sign a new deal, I don't think Van der Beek comes.
Okay.
All right? I think I think another transfer, Jack Grealish, I think it's dependent whether Villa get relegated.
Yeah.
Because I can't see United paying the 80 million for him in this day and age with what's going on, because I think if Madrid are fumbling around over 49 million euros or whatever it is for Van der Beek, I think United would be stupid to spend 80 million on Grealish. As much as I think Grealish would be a good player for United, and he would fill a gap out on that left-hand side, or on the right, or as the number 10 in behind. I can't see the money being put up. So, Jadon Sancho, I think there's no chance. I really do. I don't think he's coming at all. As much as we need a right winger, I just don't see it happening at all. I think that guy he's destined to be at Dortmund for at least another season. And I think a lot of clubs will wait until next year. I really do. Once the economy's stable, they got a decent amount of money coming in from the TV rights and stuff, and fans back in the stadium. I don't see much happening this summer. So it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe I've seen some talk about that Jimenez lad from Wolves, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen some talk about him. Again, what is he, 29, 30 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good striker, though.
Yeah, he is. I mean, great striker, in terms of the Premier League, but it's a stopgap again.
True.
You know, you're only getting 2 seasons and maybe possibly 3 coming towards the end of career, injuries and stuff. So I really don't see United do it. I think United will promote more from within than buy.
Well, I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
I think they've got some class players. You think of the players that we've got coming through, right, that haven't really had game time this season.
Some real young lads as well. Like Jesse Lingard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you got Smalling coming back. You've got Sanchez as well.
Yeah.
Right. I don't see United. If they do get one, I can see possibly 1 or 2, but I think they'll be more promoted from within. I think that's the way Ollie wants to go.
Oh, do you know what? I'm surprised he didn't throw in Phil Jones with that, like the godfather of all the young kids. I'll be honest with you, I can't go against anything Marcus has said there. The whole thing with Van der Beek, right? When you think about him staying at Ajax for so long, why hasn't any of the other top European clubs gone in for him? Those that have been in Champions League football, like your Real Madrids, like your Barcelonas, your Juves, are always trying to find a midfielder that doesn't break down within 2 weeks. Inter Milan, all of those teams, they haven't gone for him. Paris Saint-Germain, they haven't gone for him. And even the players that left Ajax, like Ziyech, that's gone to Chelsea, no one really talked about him. Correct about Pogba. I'll be honest with you, I hope he doesn't sign a new contract, because the team really doesn't need to go back to what it was before. And I know they keep talking about getting rid of the deadwood and getting rid of the bad influence. Pogba, for me, 4 years, it'll be 4 years in August. His time is up. I don't see anything else for him. If he signs a new deal, he'll never get out of United. And what that will mean, by the time he's 28, if we believe that any of the nonsense that we saw his agent do in the last 12 months was bad, he will ratchet it up to get out and get to Real Madrid. By the age of 28, he'll start to sub himself like Hazard did when he was at Chelsea. Just feel the back of his groin and put his hand up and walk off. You won't even wait for his number to come up.
That's such a good point.
No, I'm being honest.
I've never even thought of that. You've got to think beyond the contract again as well, because it'll happen again.
Yeah, beyond. And I'm like, this is not to say anything about him as a player. Everyone knows what he can do on his day, whenever that fuck is. Excuse my French. Don't worry, there's going to be a blue-rated session. I got a request from Jessica. She said, "You're too nice." She said, "Marcus and Ross, they're cursing and they come to you and you're like, well, this is very good, blah, blah, blah. Don't you worry. Last 15 minutes, gloves are off." But for Pogba, he needs to move. The Van der Beek thing, if he does come in, then you automatically think about the young players that you talked about that are possibly like Ghana, who's been talked about in terms of midfield. He might be stifled. You're talking about Gomez. Will he get in the team? Even McTominay. Everyone talks about Fred's got to be in now. I'm like, I know they want to have a variety in terms of the midfield experience, and you don't even mention Fernandes, Bruno. Not everyone can get game time, and I think because there's been very little football because of the pandemic, Everyone wants to play football now. They don't want to go another season without playing football. I mean, you get to 19, 20, 21, you want first team football. You want to play. And if you're going to bring in someone like Van der Beek, all of those players, like Chong, like Gomez, that signed an extension, must be thinking, fuck, what did I do that for? They just went and bought a guy for like 50 or 60 million. That's going to get into the squad ahead of me. I know I'm going to be back where I was before. I don't know how realistic that possible transfer would be, or as a rumor. But Jimenez again, good striker, like him. Like Man United didn't move for him again. Igalo, how much money did they pay his club to keep him until January? Because his wages are astronomical. So that loan deal must be like they bought Timo Werner. They just can't tell anyone.
I'd be on the Pogba thing, mate. What you said is so true facts, honestly. I'd be really tempted. I don't know if it's something you can do. I don't know if this is etiquette, but I think the fucking bell end's gone beyond etiquette anyway. But I'd have a conversation where I'd say, look, we really want to keep you, and we'll pay you what we think you deserve, but you have to bin the agent.
Yeah.
And if you don't bin the agent, then you go. Like that's quite a fair offer, I think, given what's come out and what's gone on. And then it's up to Pogba. Then he decides whether he stays or goes, given the ultimatum. Go on.
Do you know what? With the Pogba thing, this is why he's a very intelligent guy, because he doesn't say anything, and you can be blamed for saying the wrong thing. Remember, we talked about generally before we started, and then you can be blamed for not saying anything. He can be blamed for not saying anything because his agent says everything. But the question for him really, it has to be, do you want to stay? And if you want to stay, get rid of your agent. He won't get rid of his agent. That's not going to happen. So Man United, again, for me, they put themselves in a room with no door handles and say, we want to keep you, but... And I'm like thinking, you serious? This guy's going to kick up a fuss within 12 months. You want to leave. You want to leave.
He'll have a good World Cup or something, he'll fuck off. From what Marcus was saying, like, maybe Grealish. I've only been to Old Trafford, I'd say probably about 15, 20 times. It's not huge. But every time I go...
Oh, it's a lot, don't worry.
You watch us play a team, and there's been 2 players that I've watched on an opposition team where I've gone, wow, who the fuck's he? And one of them, surprisingly or not, was James Maddison on his debut. I think we beat Leicester 2-1. I didn't know who this kid was because I don't watch Championship football. Hold my hands up. And me and my mate were there, Ben, who was in the comments. We were like, fuck, who's this kid? Like, he's tearing us to bits. He looked head and shoulders above every player on the pitch. And that's Maddison's debut. I watched Grealish against United this season. I think he's got a top corner curler. I think we drew 1-1. But it weren't that curler. Like, I think I was with my girlfriend at the time. And I said to her, like, he's the guy you want to watch. Like, he's supposed to be good. I've never seen him live. Fuck me, did he turn up. He had the United back 4 on strings. And I know that's only one game. But I like to think that if he went to United, he would up his levels again, playing with better players. I actually think he'd be a really fucking good signing for us. And I think he's criminally underrated with like his set pieces. I know we've got Bruno for that, but you can't rely on one fucking player for set pieces.
Yeah.
And he's all we've got. All the others are fucking shit. It's a shame with Pogba, actually, because he's probably really good at set pieces, but he's just too threatening in the box as well.
I don't think he is.
Well, we can't take them because he's too good on the other side, though. Like, you can't have Pogba taking a corner. It's just balmy, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen him take a corner.
No, I've never seen him take a corner either.
I don't think I've ever seen him score one. Maybe one against Leicester once. But, yeah, I like Grealish. I don't think Sancho will happen. Too much talk for me. The more transfers get talked up like that, the more I think they don't happen. It's these low-key ones. Like, Grealish could happen so easily if Villa got relegated, like you said, Marcus. If Villa gets relegated, he's our fucking player, and we can have him for, a reasonable amount.
I think that's what United will do. They're going to wait.
Yeah.
They probably confirmed their interest to Aston Villa and said, look, we're interested. We want first dibs. If you're relegated, we want first dibs on him.
And as well, like, I know it's a bit of a long-running joke, but it does fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Brexit fucking team that he's building right now. Which is like, but like, I know it's a bit like he's building a core English team, which I think if you go, I want an all English, it's never going to work because you need your Brunos, you need your Pogbas, but I think just to build a core of like Harry Maguire at centre back, for instance. Not the best centre back in the league by any stretch, but what he offers us as a character, madness.
The thing that I'm most impressed with him being captain.
I love it, don't you?
Right, I think it's fantastic. Again, he's what is he, mid-20s? And he's got the captain's armband. I think the guy is a perfect example of a captain in modern day football. I really do. I think people can say about the Roy Keanes, and the Patrick Vieiras, but I think in this day and age, there's only so much you can say to referees now. There's only so much that a captain's allowed to do. He knows how far he can go.
Yeah.
And
clever.
He's a very clever lad. He's a very talented. The first time I saw him play, he never used to wear shin pads. I don't know if he does now.
Yeah, he does now. Yeah.
Yeah, but he never used to wear shin pads, and I used to think to myself, God, that kid's he's gonna snap his shins in two. But yeah, I think he's an absolute fantastic. I think he's a great player, and I think the price will be dependent on Aston Villa, whether they survive or they get relegated. Because I don't think he's been called up to the England squad either, is he?
Not at the minute. The thing is, he hasn't been called up. Madison, I think, wasn't called up either. I think he might have been ill. Has he?
I think he's been. I may be wrong, but I think he got called up once and played like a bit part. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So he's not a full-on England international then?
I don't think so. Grealish for me is a kind of throwback to Gascoigne.
Yeah, same sort of mold. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a throwback to Gascoigne, and I don't know if that type of player would get into this England squad, which does play very attacking football, but it is quite structured.
Yeah. But that sort of player though is what United need. They need a young, driving forward player. Not afraid to run with the ball. Rashford does it. Martial does it.
Where would he play?
They do it, and it frightens a. My opinion, I think we've got the same opinion on this. When you run at a defender, what normally happens is another defender comes off to cover, and then that opens up space for everyone. So sometimes it may not be, you may lose the ball 5 times running at a defender, but the fact you're doing it puts the cats amongst the pigeons. So I fucking love players like that, United. Where's he play? Rodney said, shit.
Yeah. So what Marcus said earlier, he could fill the gap on the right. But predominantly,
he can fill it anywhere.
He's played on the left-hand side.
He has. So I would be. I mean, we don't know what these players are like, what their feels are, what they're like in training. But I'd be very interested to see what he'd play like on the right. He's very right-footed for one, which I know they like to cut in. But why can't he? I mean, he can put in a fucking cross like you know what. The issue we have with someone like that though is a striker, because as much as I love Martial. He can only play in a certain type of game. He's not, there's certain games where I play a Gallo over Martial because he'll score more goals.
Well, that's probably every game then, isn't
it? Maybe. Well, no, because so against Tottenham, Martial's gonna play, and he'll play really well, counter-attacking football. We need that, but when we got teams that we need to break down, like in the Europa League, Gallo's just beautiful in that position. I just love watching him there. I really do. I love watching a player that stands on that fucking penalty spot and don't move.
Yeah.
Or he does move, but it's minimal. It's little dinks here and there and gets the ball. It's a talent. It's a big talent in itself. Ruben Nistelrooy was the best I've ever seen do it.
You forgot another one that's coming back as well. Mark's just said it in the comments. Rojo.
Do you know
that's another one.
These youngsters, where are they coming from?
George Kyle says it's Grealish every day of the week. Pankaj says Van der Beek. Kylie says Grealish can play 3 or 4 positions. I think if you look at the midfield or even the front three, if you put Martial out on the left and Grealish goes right and Rashford through the middle, I think that's pretty decent. I do. I think that's a decent, young, lasting front three for at least 5 or 6 years.
The mad thing is, if you put say we did, like Rodney asked a question, where do you play him? You put Grealish in our team, and you look at our team, you go, fucking hell, this is like quality.
Yeah.
Like so I don't know what your thoughts are, everyone, on Lindelof, but for me it's Bailly, all day of the week. And I'm looking at like fucking, well, whoever it is. I'm looking at like Maguire, unreal. Right back, fucking unreal. Wan-Bissaka. Left back, I really rate Luke Shaw. Scored 2 goals apparently. Hear this? He scored 2 goals in that 4-4 draw, didn't he? Like behind closed doors. And then you got a midfield. Like, who do you pick at the midfield? Like, fucking hell, we're not a bad team under Ollie.
We're not. It's just it's a learning curve.
Team.
Nah, not at all.
It's a massive learning curve for him. He's all right. He's been at the club before. He's some people say legend of the club, etc. But it's all fine and well coming in and trying to fill the shoes of previous manager and trying to get all that information that they've been taught already. And then he's got the information of being under Sir Alex as well, trying to mould it all into one and to get these lads to understand how Manchester United should play.
We've had arguably one of the greatest managers of the last 20 years fail to get rid of Deadwood in that squad as well. And Ollie's torn it apart, to be honest. He's ripped that team to fucking shreds. And I absolutely love him for it. Yeah. No one had the bollocks to drop Sanchez for Ollie. Get rid of him.
No one had. But Bay, for me, is a Nightmare on Elm Street character. He gives me the fucking jips, mate. I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah, but so does Lindelof, man.
Mate, I reckon Bay and Maguire.
Do you?
I absolutely love Bay.
I've seen Lindelof, fucking shoulder barge a toothpick once and get knocked on the floor. Honestly.
It's a shame the lad can't stay fit. He picks up the most silliest of injuries.
Yeah.
But again, it's commitment for the cause. He throws his body in front of everything, man.
Right. Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to say, who would be in goal? First choice. Would it next season? De Gea?
I think you have to, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, what are we doing with Henderson?
Who?
Henderson.
I'd keep him as number 2. I'd let, what's his face go?
Keep Romero.
Yeah.
So Henderson number 2 and play him cup games, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because Henderson needs to be the successor to Tahay, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a whopper. So are we still in the Europa League? We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to win that as well. No.
Who else is in? Well, I don't know who else is in that.
Oh, are Arsenal in it?
I think Arsenal are still in it.
Well, I think didn't they get beat?
No, are they? I think they're out.
They got knocked out by
they're out.
You know, honestly, this lack of football has sent my brain into the twilight zone. I'm not sure what day it is.
I had some vivid memory of Aubameyang scoring a goal against a load of farmers and wearing a fucking Batman mask. I swear down. Fucking idiot.
Oh god. You know, honestly, I'm thinking about the Grealish thing. I do like Grealish. And if it's dependent on Villa going down, then this is the stupid scenario that United could find themselves in. Villa go down, and then they start to haggle over the price. And this is where they get into that kind of, we don't want to spend too much money. But they'll go and actually kind of go backwards and forwards with regards to it. And then someone else nips in and gets Grealish, because they do something that's slightly more than what United are throwing down. It's either you want him or you don't want him.
Yeah.
But he wants to. I think he has actually stated that he wouldn't mind coming to United. I mean, not in so many words.
Yeah.
But when it was hinted at, it was like, let's wait for the season to finish. When it was something, he'll make his mind up at the end of the season. I think that was around Christmas time.
I mean, he tried to force a move to Tottenham. I mean, he's desperate to get out of that.
Well, he wants to get out. Yeah.
I think Tottenham. I think Tottenham themselves. I think they shot themselves in the foot with him, because they could have had him for 20 million.
Yeah, they fucked up.
So I mean, at that point in time, considering what they got in their midfield now, they're probably thinking, we should have spent the money. But from the Man United point of view, look at that midfield: Bruno, Fred, who's just, for me, seems like the most improved player in the United team this season. And then you got McTominay. I'm trying to work out where Grealish gets in. Oh shit, we forgot Lingard.
Never mind.
Now we have, yeah,
Oh,
shit. Right winger.
yeah.
I actually think Ollie's pushing him out.
Really?
Yeah, I really do, and it really wouldn't surprise me if he left it in the summer. I mean,
What?
he's just got. I mean, what the fuck's he just gone and got? And he got that Bellend as an agent now.
Again, there was talks of it, wasn't there?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's happened.
I think
Was
it's
it?
happened.
Yeah, so there's only one reason for that. There's only
Yeah.
one reason for that. He's probably made a phone call, or he's probably called up Pogba and gone, "How do I get out of this fucking club, mate?" And he's gone, "Oh, I'll give you the guy's number.
Yeah.
He'll sort you out."
The one person I don't want to see next season is Sanchez.
Yeah, man.
I do not want to see that guy. Let me just say, it's
Nah.
gone. We're gone past 9:15 or 10:15. It's the hour. I don't want to fucking see Sanchez. I can now use it. I can now officially use foul language. He can piss off. He's had too much fucking money. He's bled the club dry. All of the salary that he's taken, we could have bought Grealish and his mama house by now. It's that, honestly, when Man United look back at some of the deals they've done, they have absolutely been piss poor. It's like sending a child to buy the newspaper and giving them a £50 note and they come back with lollipops. They just don't know what they're doing. So he can jog. Him and his two dogs, they can stay wherever they want to stay, in quarantine, whatever, airport, Heathrow, Gatwick, and just leave and then cut him and say goodbye. Because then they can spend the money on someone else. And not even so much spend it on someone else, actually say to the young talent that they've got there, saying, we're prepared to invest in you because we want you to stay, like Gomez, like Chong, like Garner, instead of giving it to some guy. Can you imagine how much? 500 fucking grand a week. Come on. Seriously. There are people out there robbing banks for that kind of money. And there's a crew. There's like 4 or 5 people trying to do a job like that. But Man United were giving it away to one person.
Yeah. Fuck. It's mad. Is at the height? Go on.
No, I was just going to change topic then, but finish it off then, Ross.
No. I've got nothing to say of any relevance, mate.
Well, I was just going to say, next season, right, Brandon Williams has done absolutely superb for me this season, right? Who's your starting left back?
Sure.
You go for sure, do you?
Yeah, for the simple reason, this is why I've done. What Ollie's done is he keeps playing Brandon Williams in the left side of midfield because he's slightly more. He has more legs with him in terms of going forwards and getting back. If he plays him as an out-and-out left back, then he's got to worry about Martial on the left-hand side, who doesn't like to track back. And then he's got to ask too much of Rashford on the left side. Because if he's playing Rashford on the left, he wants Rashford to just be, I don't want you tracking back. I just want you terrorising the back four. So what he's done in the last few games is he's had Shaw as almost like a back three or left back and had Williams in front of him. It's not his best position because I still think that he needs to develop his left foot. But I would actually put him in ahead of any of the other attacking players on the left-hand side because we know what he will do. And he'll dig in. He's a United boy through and through.
I mean, Max said it there, which I kind of agree with. Any team lineup that we put together is opponent based, yeah. So I think you play Shaw in all the really big, important games because of the experience. He's got the head. Williams has got a little bit of a hot head as well, which we all love. But at the same time, versus a big team. But against a fucking, I don't know, a wank team like Brighton or something, I think you could easily stick Williams in there because he'll offer us more going forward and he might have nothing to do going back anyway. But Williams is amazing. I love him. Actually,
his breakthrough this season has been superb. All eyes was on Greenwood, weren't they? And this lad just came in one game and just set the fucking team alight.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
I still want him to use his left a little bit more. That's the only thing, because I'm fearful of him having a bad spell, right? Because it does happen with young players. They have one bad game and people rip him up and say, why is he there? He can't use his left. He always cuts inside, and he does that predominantly. But there's something about his game that you just have to look at and go, I like what I see. I like what I see because you're just, you're 110% all the time. and the extra 5% for the hot head. But I'm just fearful a little bit. I want him to use his left so that he becomes a much more balanced player.
There's a bit of discussion about it in the comments because United Alex 7 says Williams played unreal against Chelsea, and then Max said Williams struggled late on against City.
He did.
And then United Alex says that Luke Shaw is basically a better left centre back than a left back.
But this is the thing.
You know, I mean, could you see Maguire and Luke Shaw as a partnership?
But this is why. Do you know what?
Three.
If you play three at the back, you play Maguire central, Shaw left, and Wan-Bissaka on the right of three. Bailly doesn't get in because if you want, I know. If you put Brandon Williams on the left-hand side, what you need is balance in the rest of midfield. So you're talking about either McTominay, Fred, Bruno, Pogba, Grealish, whoever's in there. So you do need a very combative left-hand side and right. And to be honest, Wan-Bissaka, he can play right of three or right back. He's that quick. You know,
True.
He makes up for both Shaw and Brandon Williams.
Yeah, I remember going back about 2 or 3 years ago on a shitty channel, me and Ross.
What?
Bailly,
You was on another channel?
Right.
Fuck
Right. Ross wasn't the biggest fan of Bailly, right? Didn't like the fact that he was always injured.
I still don't, honestly.
So what's changed your mind then?
To be honest, and I'm fickle, and I have no problem with saying I'm a little bit of a flip-flop. But that performance he put in against Chelsea, I was absolutely blown away with.
Yeah.
And I thought, if that guy, his fitness is enough for me to want to bin him off, honestly. But if he can stay fit, he is actually quality. And get a run of games in him. But can he do that? You asking me that question now, I'm of the opinion that Man United should be avoiding any injury-prone player and binning off all the ones we currently have. But honestly, cause it just becomes farcical because it's the same fucking names week in, week out are unavailable for seasons on end. Like Phil Jones, is he still there for?
He's by his driver.
Yo, yeah,
They're travelling together.
Yeah, I hate injury-prone players. I know it's like not their fault. It's muscular, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't hate them personally. I just think they're a complete waste of time if you're trying to be the biggest club in the world. You cannot carry injury-prone players.
Well,
which makes this lockdown and lack of football possibly a good thing.
Yeah, man.
Possibly.
Yeah. No, 100%. For Rashford as well.
Yeah. I mean, if we believe what's said on Twitter and that, they're mentally ready and raring to go.
I've got one question for you guys. It's only a quick one. Do you see Rashford days as an out-and-out striker over, or do you still think he can go back to that position?
I think he can go back. Out of all the forwards we got there, I think Rashford is the naturally moulded centre forward.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know, I always said that he needed to learn his game. And when he first came in, I actually felt that he should have gone on loan to get more game time. I mean, he's had game time, but I felt he needed to kind of develop his game as a striker. It hasn't worked for him as a number 9 outright at Manchester United, and he's found his home on the left. But that's caused problems for everyone else because he wants to be on the left. Martial wants to be on the left. Daniel James. Oh shit, we forgot Daniel James.
No, you can. I'm happy to forget that.
Okay, he wants to be on the left.
That's nice.
And then Grealish comes in. He wants to be on the left, and everyone wants to be on the left. The only person who wants to be on the right is Mata, and he's left-footed, and he's only playing there because no one's used him correctly. So I don't know whether or not Rashford will be. I don't know whether he'll gravitate back to the position of being a central striker. I think he'll get used to playing out on the left, and just continue his career there. But he may do. Depend on it will probably depend on the lineup and the way that the team is moulded around him.
I would much prefer Martial out on the left. I think he's more dangerous out there. I really do. I think as a centre forward, his movement's not there. I don't think he can hold up the ball very well.
Nice pass.
Whereas Rashford, when the ball comes to him at his feet, he can turn and run.
He's got better hold-up play for sure.
He can turn and run. I think Martial is suited so much better out in that left-hand side, facing up one-on-one. He can get past them. You know,
our future number 9 is Greenwood, though, right? I mean, I
don't know.
The thing is with Rashford, he's had to work so hard on his finishing because he's just not a natural finisher.
Yeah.
And you can work so hard that will get you to a level which is good. But for me, finishing is something you're just like. I said him earlier, but Ruud van Nistelrooy, that guy was just born to finish.
Yeah.
And I see that in Greenwood. Like it's just so natural for him. Where Rashford, he's got all the, he can do all that. He can do the hold up. He can do the movement. He's got good strength. He can't head the ball yet, but I'm sure he can work on that because that's not a hard skill to pick up. But yeah, it's the finishing thing. That's why I think Martial plays there more, because Martial's a better finisher, but the rest of his abilities, I don't know if it holds up to number 9, like you said. Like Martial running at defenders as well. Jeez.
I just think it suits their games better. I do think they're two totally different type of players for me. One is more effective out on the left, one is more effective through the middle. And I do think Rashford, as a centre forward, is better than Martial. There's just a little bit more to his game, and I just feel more comfortable that he can pull something out of the bag. If there's a ball over the top to run onto, if there's a through ball, I'm more confident he'll get onto it than Martial. Because I do find that sometimes I see it quite frequently actually when Martial's running onto the ball. 9 times out of 10 he falls over. But that's just him, and I think out on the left-hand side he doesn't do that. Martial just seems to draw fouls in as a number 9, which is good. But when you ain't got no one who can deliver a ball, we have now, but we didn't have.
Yeah.
That technique is pretty much wasted.
Yeah.
It just slows the play down. So it allows the opposition to get back in the position, doesn't it? But yeah, I think Martial left for me, and I think if Grealish comes in, Grealish out on the right with his right foot, and Rashford through the middle.
And Daniel James forgotten
in the bin.
No. I think Daniel James. I do agree with Ollie. I think he's played way more football than what he should have done.
True, but then Ollie's the one that fucking plays him all the time.
Yeah, but there's no one else, Ross, is there?
There has been times where Greenwood's been fully fit and hasn't played him at 5 weeks, and then he still gives Dan James 90 minutes. I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah.
He wants the pace.
He does. He's got so much fucking pace. It's ridiculous. But if he was if Dan James had the same pace as Mata, would he be any good?
I usually hear people say if you were quicker, but I've never heard anyone say if you were slower.
I'm glad I didn't say no.
If you were slower. Oh God, look, Mark's giving me a hard time. Why no super chats on here? Mark, blame me, right? Blame me. It's my fault. I need to look and set that up.
No, you can't.
You can't set it up yet.
No, you need 1,000 subs.
Mark, we need 1,000 subs. Do you know where we can get some?
Yeah. Everyone else does.
I am a man of limited knowledge. I don't know where to look. If you can send me in the right direction, I will gladly go and pick them up so that me and my friends can get the super chats up and running. Would you be? No, he's not gonna.
Mate, I've got contacts out in Indonesia and China and Singapore. £1 a person, mate, for a sub. I'll sort it out.
I've only got a £5.
It's cheap. That'll get us 5. That'll get us 5.
They'll get us 5. We will get us 5. Look, I have to apologise to those that have arrived late. There was an error from me with regards to technology. We didn't start on time, so I must apologise. We will be more diligent. I will be more diligent next week. It's a good thing that the Ross was going, yeah, we're not live.
It would have just carried on.
We're just talking because you're not live. I was like, we're not live. Like, okay. Not live at all. Not live at all.
When is football back?
On the 17th of June.
It's the 17th. When is United's first game?
I believe it's the
The weekend.
19th.
Yeah.
I think
19th.
it's a Friday night.
So by Friday night, and it will be on Sky. It's 8:15. 8:15. It's the 19th of June. 8:15. It's a Sky game, available to those with Sky or not Sky. I'm not sure.
Right. So plans going forward then. So a bit of an exclusive to everyone that's watching and that will watch it later. Plans for the channel going forward when we go live on the Sunday. I take it we're going to be the main focus will be discussing and reviewing the game.
We will be indeed. Yeah, we will be.
Yeah. And then hopefully in the near future, incorporating people to come on the calls.
Yes.
And discuss.
We did have a request about call-ins today. Probably not today because of it would have been difficult with technical issues, but we need to find a workaround as well so that we get people on and we can cut them off before time. No, I don't mean
kick them out. We don't like it. Out you go.
Kick you off just to like block corner, this thing like that.
But yeah, so plans going forward then. Okay, so when the football gets back up and running, review the games then at Sunday night, general chit chat, get a couple of people on the calls, have a general discussion, and then go from there. Yeah, see where it takes us.
Go from there. I think we've run to time, haven't we?
We have.
We've run to time. I'm glad that we were able to get this up and running. It was just shy of an hour, but you've been treated well, everyone, and thank you for all of the comments. And Ross and Marcus were busy reading so many. I'm still gutted about the whole kind of backdrop. I need to sort that out. I just don't look good.
It's actually mad as well. Just on the comments, like, it's a cliche in it. We'll be nothing without the live comments, but like, because we're so fucking small, I read every comment, like literally everyone. So don't think if your comment don't get read, don't think it'll be read because it has. We're all reading.
Mine's on as well.
Yeah, like
we're all reading.
And it's sick because if you weren't there, we wouldn't do it. Literally.
Yeah.
Well, we maybe would, but we wouldn't stream it. So it's sick, and a lot of you, it's sick.
Yeah, brilliant. It's sick. Anyway, look, shall we just end right now and say we'll see you guys next week, Sunday, same time, same place. Well, on time next week, that's for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Definitely.
Right,
I enjoyed it again. Get your 3D glasses.
Laters. I love it. Laters.